Imagine tensions boiling between the Powhatan Confederacy and the Virginia colony. Led by Opchanacanough and Opitchapam, the natives launched a brutal attack, wiping out 347 colonists in no time. Chaos reigns, bodies strewn, settlements destroyed. How did the colonists react? Did they fight back or hide? And what about Opchanacanoug's risky move of waiting for a response? Smart or crazy? As things calmed down, one thing's sure, this wasn't just a small event. It rocked the colonies very hard. The Massacre of 1622 was when tribes from the Powhatan Confederacy, led by Opchanacanough and his brother Opitchapam, attacked the Virginia colony. They surprised the settlers, killing 347 of them. Opchanacanough gets most of the credit for the attack's success, although Opitchapam also played a part. The attack was well planned and happened quickly. Only Jamestown got a warning and had time to defend itself. About 1,250 colonists lived there, and 347 were killed on March 22, 1622. After that, many more died from not having enough food, as the attackers destroyed their crops. Why were there more clashes with the natives in the months that followed? Who could have imagined the sorrow and shock brought by the Powhatan Confederacy's attack in 1622, shattering the peace held since 1614? Colonists and natives used to trade and visit each other, but things turned sour as settlers mistreated and took native lands. Opchanacanough wanted to show strength, but it only made things worse. The colonists fought back, leading to more sadness and loss. Opchanacanoug's attempt to start another war in 1644 ended in his capture and death. After the fighting, the Treaty of 1646 split up the Powhatan Confederacy, leaving natives with little land. The 1622 tragedy also affected how English people treated natives in other places, leading to more sadness and suffering. Jamestown colony in Virginia was started by the English in 1607. Soon, they clashed with the native tribes of the Powhatan Confederacy. These tribes had been living in the area, known as Senacomaca, densely populated land, for thousands of years, with their cultural customs. Meanwhile, the Spanish came to the West Indies in 1492 and colonized parts of South and Central America. They also reached up to modern-day Florida, but didn't go further north. Instead, they raided the coast, capturing natives to sell as slaves. The English arrived late in the New World, establishing Roanoke Colony in Virginia in 1585 and 1587, but it vanished by 1590. By 1607, natives already knew about Europeans, bringing trouble. Initially, the Powhatan Confederacy, led by Chief Powhatan, didn't mind the English. They settled in a swampy area, hoping for help against enemies. So, Chief Powhatan provided aid to the poorly prepared colonists. However, colonists grew dependent, neglecting self-sufficiency. Captain John Smith's rapport with Chief Powhatan soured by 1609 due to the mistreatment of natives, including theft. Did Smith, once friendly, resort to stealing before fleeing to England? After Smith's departure, colonists intensified exploitation, believing natives were subjects of the English king. Chief Powhatan ordered them to stay in their settlement, allowing warriors to kill anyone outside. This led to the starving time, where 80% of colonists perished. In May 1610, Governor Sir Thomas Gates and Lord Delaware arrived, adopting a harsh approach, sparking the First Powhatan War, 1610 to 1614, marked by surprise attacks and casualties. During the Peace of Pocahontas, natives were seeking fighters, using bows and arrows faster than colonists' muskets could reload. Colonists had lots of replacements, unlike native tribes. They kept attacking native villages, seizing land and resources, creating a barrier between settlements and tribes. As fighting continued, more colonists arrived with guns, building inland settlements. John Rolfe, who came in 1610, introduced profitable tobacco farming. By 1614, he was wealthy, owning a large plantation near Jamestown. In 1613, West fell ill, handing power to Samuel Argall, who kidnapped Pocahontas for ransom. Be the first to know about our upcoming content. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now let's proceed with the Jamestown Massacre. Chief Powhatan agreed to release Pocahontas, providing tools, weapons, and prisoners. but Argall deceived him, holding Pocahontas captive. She converted to Christianity and married Rolfe in 1614, pleasing colonial leaders and ending the First Powhatan War. The following years, known as the Peace of Pocahontas, saw flourishing trade and agreed land deals between colonists and natives. But what events led up to the massacre? Pocahontas, Rolfe, and their little boy, Thomas Rolfe, went to England in 1616 to get more support for the colony. Pocahontas died in 1617 on their way back to Virginia, and Thomas stayed in England with Rolfe's brother. Chief Powhatan kept things calm to honor his grandson, but he stepped down as chief after his daughter died. His brother, Opitchapam, took over as chief, but he wasn't as strong or liked as Chief Powhatan's half-brother, Opchanacanough. Opchanacanough became chief after Chief Powhatan died around 1618. When Pocahontas went to England, Chief Powhatan sent some of her family and tribe members, including his brother-in-law Tomocomo, who was a wise person and advisor. Tomocomo was supposed to watch the English and report back. According to the English settlers, Tomocomo said bad things about the English at a meeting of elders and chiefs, but the colonists made him feel embarrassed and quieted him down, saying the English could be trusted. But these stories were written by the colonists themselves, so they may not be true. Did the colonists play fair with the natives, or were they just rewriting history to make themselves the heroes? Opchanacanough believed what Tomocomo said and made plans based on that. In 1619, the Peace of Pocahontas was still in place, and trade deals had made things friendly between the newcomers and the native tribes. In 1611, when Henricus was started by Sir Thomas Dale, they also built the first college in North America nearby. Its goal was to teach Native American kids about Christianity and European ways. Pocahontas becoming Christian made them hopeful that more natives would do the same, so they worked harder to convert them. Around that time, Opchanacanough and his brother Opitchapam got ready for the attack by taking war names and asked other tribes to join them in honoring Chief Powhatan's life. The colonists didn't suspect anything then, but later they thought this was just a trick. They believed Chief Powhatan used this ceremony to gather all the tribal chiefs and plan the attack. During this time, the natives probably figured out where certain colonists would be in different settlements, who would be working in the fields, and how long the attack would take. On the morning of March 22, 1622, which happened to be Good Friday, they started like any other day. The colonists went to work on their farms and in their shops. According to scholar Charles C. Mann, here's what happened. Early in the morning, Native Americans quietly entered European settlements, knocking on doors and asking to come in. Many of them were familiar faces, and they didn't have any weapons with them. Some even had a meal or a drink. Then suddenly, they grabbed whatever they could find, like kitchen knives, heavy pots, or even the colonists' guns, and attacked everyone in the house. The attack was brutal, widespread, and well planned. It happened so fast that many colonists didn't realize they were being attacked until it was too late. Entire families were killed, and houses were set on fire all over the area that was once called Senacamoco. Just before the attack, some Native Americans warned their English friends, giving Jamestown enough time to get ready to defend itself, but still, the attackers killed at least 325 people. At that moment, Opchanacanough could have easily killed the survivors. Those outside Jamestown had no defenses, and Jamestown itself could have been set on fire, with colonists being killed as they tried to escape. But instead, he waited for a reaction. He hoped the colonists would leave his lands quickly as he thought a Native American tribe would do. Was his understanding of the enemy completely mistaken? The colonists started to come back together and build again. They even traded with the tribes that had attacked them. They didn't have much choice because their crops had been burned. Mann adds after the massacre, about 700 more people died. Since the attack messed up the spring planting, the colonists grew even less corn than usual. At the same time, the Virginia Company tried to fix Jamestown by sending over 1,000 new colonists. Surprisingly, they came without any food supplies. More soldiers couldn't beat the tricky tactics of the natives in the Second Powhatan War. So the colonists played a trick. They asked for a peace meeting and poisoned the wine. After the chiefs drank it and fell, the colonists attacked their guards and helpers, killing over 200 of them. The war kept going until Opchanacanough asked for peace in 1626, but fights kept happening until the 1630s in some places. Hey people, are you satisfied with our content? Your feedback is important, so share your thoughts in the comments below.